Hey guys, Ali G here. Welcome back to Repairs of the Breach. I hope you're doing well. Excuse my appearance, but what I realized if I got dressed up for all of these videos, then I would never do any. So I hope that you had a blessed weekend. And today I am covering a topic that is kind of controversial in the church, and it used to be very controversial with me as well because I didn't want to be religious. I wanted to steer free of religion. I had broken out of religion. I was raised in religion. And so therefore I wanted to abstain from religion. But as I grow in my knowledge and wisdom and understanding of our word and of our Father Yah, I realized that, following rules or following the law, following Torah is not necessarily being religious. It's doing as my father did and doing as Yahusha did and following in his footsteps. And it says if we love him, that we'll follow his commandments. And so today I want to talk to you about a really exciting topic because I have fallen in love with this holy day, and it's Passover. I guess probably 5 or 6 years ago, I just started feeling convicted about celebrating Easter. I had always known of its origin, and I'm going to talk to you for a minute briefly about that. But I just wanted to go over a few differences between Passover and Easter and ask ourselves, why as a Christian church do we associate ourselves with Easter rather than Passover when we see clearly that Passover is celebrated in the Bible? But we a lot of times associate Passover as being Jewish and then Easter as being Christian, but it couldn't be farther from the truth. So I just mentioned Passover has a biblical origin where Easter has no biblical reference at all. We can find Passover and its origin found in Exodus chapter 12, where the Israelites had been under harsh slavery to Pharaoh, and he refused to let them go. And so because of Pharaoh's stubbornness, of course, God sent a series of plagues, and the 10th one killing the firstborn child, right? And he had his people put the blood of the lamb over the doorpost so that it would pass over and their firstborn wouldn't die. And so this Passover was to be kept as a memory alive by Israel, a memorial, a deliverance from slavery from Egypt. And that includes me and you, because if they weren't delivered, then guess what? We wouldn't be delivered. And so it is a picture, it's a symbol of our Yahusha to come, who will be the ultimate lamb and ultimate sacrifice for us. And so Easter, we can't find it commanded in the Bible. It's nowhere found in the Bible. And so we find here a God-ordained observance of Yahusha's death. And then we see a human tradition that was created with Easter and bunny rabbits and eggs and duckies and all that stuff. Also, Passover is a fixed day. We know based on the Hebrew calendar that Passover begins at the new moon. It's where with Easter, the day is moved according to, I guess, kind of spring equinox, which gets into a little bit of occultism. But I'm not going to talk about that on this video. That's for later times. But also, Passover is a memorial of Yahusha's death for us. And Easter's more a celebration of his resurrection. And I think that it's supposed to, we really should take a moment longer to do this in remembrance of him, in remembrance of what he did. Yes, let's celebrate the victory over death, but let's really focus on the sacrifice, right? And so those are just a few different, I guess, vice versa, what's the word I'm looking for? A few different comparisons between Easter and Passover. And we talked about the symbolism with the Easter symbols, the Easter eggs and the bunnies. It's deep rooted in ancient pagan practices. Again, fertility, and all that fun stuff. And then Passover symbols are, pictures of the Passover, of what was sacrificed for us. The unleavened bread represents his broken body that was broken for us. His wine represents the blood that was poured out. And so the origin of Easter is not Christian in its origin. In fact, it is actually named after a Chaldean goddess, the Queen of Heaven. And so the festival of Passover, held by Christians in kind of post-apostolic times, was a continuation of the high holy days and Jewish feasts that Yah had commanded us to keep. But when Constantine came into 300 AD, we see where the pagan festival of Easter was inserted and as a replacement of Passover. And it's unfortunate. But there are actually some references that I can refer you to and that I'll put down in the bottom of this YouTube video. But the word Easter, which comes from the Anglo-Saxon, is a term derived from the pagan goddess of the dawn. And you can find this in the Catholic Encyclopedia, 1987, page 177. And Atem, Anglo-Saxon Estra, Teutonic goddess of dawn and spring. And you can find this in the Modern Catholic Dictionary of 1980, page 175. Two popular Bible resources that were written largely from a Protestant perspective that also note pagan, depict pagan sources and pagan origins. We get this from Unger's Bible Dictionary of 1966, page 283. It says the word Easter is of Saxon origin. Esther, the goddess of spring, in whose honor sacrifices were offered about Passover time each year. By the 8th century, Anglo-Saxons had adopted the name to designate the celebration of Christ's resurrection. But as we know, or some of us know, Constantine was trying to get everybody to get along. There's some stories out there that he got saved before he died. Regardless, he married pagans in church. So therefore we get kind of a mixture, a hodgepodge of Christian and pagan mixed together. But the problem with that is that the origin was specific in its purpose. And we can't redeem that because it's still today being utilized for its purpose. And spring equinox is a huge celebration amongst the occult, and this is where we find, Astra, she's celebrated in fertility and new life. So the egg symbolizes wholeness, perfection. It's a symbol of fertility. And so in many cultures, spring is a symbol of rebirth, and it is rebirth. And Yah actually, in his feast, we celebrate the same, because we go into the Feast of Weeks and all that good stuff. And so Yah's all about new season and new harvest, but not according to the stars as these guys practice it. So this is just to get you thinking. I could go a lot more in depth with history. I try to keep these videos really short so that you'll listen to them, because I know we're inundated with information today. But if you want to know more, I'll be happy to share with you further resources. Also, we're starting a new master class next weekend. If you're interested in participating, you can message me and we go in depth on all this stuff. I hope you have a blessed week, beloved, and Yah bless you, and you'll be hearing from me soon. Bye.